Hello and welcome to a brand new episode of Shikar. The crowd goes crazy. A very special episode with the one and only Josephine McAdam as we dive into Nim's one shot.
Yay, our first one-on-one shot.
Yeah, because your last one was with Balvin. Well, we killed him. Just kidding. We didn't.
Right? Just replace one father figure with the one who abandoned you.
As you do. Oh, wait. Can we get an audio check?
Check. Hello?
Oh, you're good. Cool. I just realized I never did it. And I was like, oh, snap. Probably should do that. I've got chicken nuggets on deck. I am super excited for this. I finished the mini.
Ooh.
It's gonna be a great show, y'all. Hi, hello, welcome. I'm That Bronze Girl. If you're here, then you probably know who I am. Welcome to my channel. And Shikar is my homebrew D&D 5th edition game. This is the first of a series of 4 one-shots that we're going to be embarking on as the party levels up to level 5. And then we will be going dark until the new year, which is super exciting. And when we come back, we're going to be super fresh. We're going to have new overlays, new art, so be excited for that. New minis, and maybe even some new people shall join the party. We shall see. Oh, if you're looking for last week's VOD while watching this one or wondering what the heck happened, a windstorm in Seattle knocked my power out, and thus...
Is that what did it?
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah,
Oh
84,000 people lost power in the Seattle area. So, and it was out for over 18 hours. So because of that, I wasn't able to get the video rendered and uploaded. So it'll be going up next Tuesday, and then these will be going up after it. So if you're catching up on YouTube, you're gonna be 1 week behind the show. But don't worry, because we're going dark for the fall season or the holiday season, so you won't be behind for too long. Yeah, thank you so much for rocking out with us today, Josephine. Who are you? Who do you play?
Hi, I'm Josephine McAdam. You can find me at JCVIM everywhere. And today I'm playing Nim Grimwillow, little tiefling bard. Not so little, he's 13. And excited, a little scared to spend time with the demon of misfortune, aka his birth dad, I guess.
Yeah.
So many dads, you have to specify like which.
There's like several. It's okay though. As you do. Sometimes you need 7 dads to get through a day. Also, a special shout out to Roll20 for sponsoring this show. Thank you so much. You allow us to do what we do, and I appreciate you for it. Thank you, Roll20. Balvin's in the chat saying, "Be safe, my child."
Oh no! I try.
We'll see. We'll see. Yeah, sorry, I'm just fixing a thing here, and then we'll get right into it. Sorry for the delay here, chat. I have had so many tech issues. I had to re-download basically everything to get this going today, but super excited for that to happen. Just
Oh my god, Balvin being too cute.
When is Balvin not cute?
That's true. I know. I'm like
Balvin just do be cute like it's nobody's business. It's horrible.
It's horrible. It's the worst.
All right. Okay. So we enter on. Oh, we gotta do this proper like. There's a certain this must be done proper like, because he has such iconic music at this point. Here we go.
Oh gosh. Yes.
Our journey begins on the now moon-soaked deck of Forlorn's Folly, a large barge that lazily, half submerged even, drifts down the river towards no destination in particular, where people come to drown their sorrows, to feel the rush as they roll the dice and feel alive again, where they come to forget about their misfortunes for a small time. And indeed, this is the best place to do it, for this barge belongs to the Lord of Misfortune himself, Forlorn Grimwillow. Some call him a demon, some call him a devil, but one of our adventurers calls him Dad. He sits in his study, lacquered shoes, lacquered nails, lacquered horns, all in the perfect cherry red, and drums his nails on the smooth mahogany of his desk kind of nervously. After a pause, he finally comes and knocks on the door to the bedroom where Nim is staying. And Nim, you do notice he has painted his nails and his horns a brand new color.
Oh, okay. I was like,
Yeah.
damn, okay. Great. I would love
They're
to.
midnight
hopefully...
blue.
What was that?
They're midnight blue.
Oh, they're midnight blue, his horns?
Yeah.
Oh,
And they have like little bits of glitter and shine in them. It matches nails perfectly.
I feel like Nim is like draped in anything he could find that he didn't think would kill him, and also just like jaw dropped, like looking at him like, you look cool.
Oh, thank you. I try. It's a special night. I thought I'd invite you.
Oh, what's happening?
This is the day, on the night of the full moon, when I tend to my mother's grave.
Oh, well, I would love to come with you, yes.
Oh, yes, you have a grandmother. I assume you knew, but on your father's side as well, you have a grandmother.
Right, I guess I didn't know, if you were formed of... I don't know how these things work. How do you become the demon of misfortune, I would love to go, yes. I didn't know.
Yeah, it's complicated. I'm not quite sure how it works either. I'll just say the title isn't something I was born with. It's something I acquired.
Oh. Does that mean it's something that can maybe go away? Is it a curse?
Some might call it that. But it's a job that needs doing, and it's one that I fell into.
Okay. Well, did you ever try not?
I did. That's how you and your sister came about.
Oh. Yeah. I just meant where it wouldn't follow you anymore.
Nim, misery follows me like a shadow. But I think you know that all too well.
Yeah. Okay. Well, who was my grandmother? Where is she resting?
Well, downstairs. She was infernal, so we'll have to take a bit of an interesting route to get to her. She was beautiful, kind.
Okay.
Played lovely music.
Yeah?
Yeah, I'd like to think you get it from her, maybe.
Well, I'm excited, thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it'll be good. It'll be good for you to see your dad's side of the family.
Yeah, is there you sound there was like a stutter in your voice or something. Is there a reason? Do you have doubts?
Well, I just, you've been on your you've been on your it's like introducing a whole new side of your family, right? So it's a little nerve-wracking. It's something that me and your mom talked about, was whether or not it would be appropriate for you to know where you came from.
Oh, well, I think I'd rather know because I feel like I've been very confused because for lack of knowing, if that makes sense. If I know, then I can feel like I can choose something.
Well, what are you confused about?
I guess what it makes. I guess what I'm confused about is whether it's good or bad. I feel like people have called me a demon in a negative way.
Negative people will find negative things in other people, regardless of whether or not they are tieflings or demons.
That's true. So demons aren't bad?
I don't do bad things. I view myself as a necessary evil.
Oh, okay.
He opens the door wider that he's like kind of standing in and kind of gestures out to the rest of the barge, and he says, "These people, they come here to drown their woes. In doing so, I guess you could say I'm enabling them. And it is their power that sustains me, that allows me to do some of the things that I do. It's the power that allowed me to help your friends. You see,
Right.
I have more worshippers than Sahiba, and therefore I am more powerful than Sahiba. But there are people that think the very existence of this barge is a heresy.
Huh. Well, I suppose it's going to happen one way or another, and they are somewhat safe here.
Exactly. And who am I to judge if someone wants to waste away here rather than going and dealing with their problems?
Right, I can see that. And the rest of the family too?
Uh, no, I was a bit of the black sheep.
In what way? In what way?
Well, really, I only kept in touch with Mom, your grandmother. And from what I know, her methods were a little bit more destructive.
Oh, okay.
But it was another sort of natural, like, it had to happen. When people think of volcanic eruptions, they only think of the lava, but they never think about how great that soil is afterwards. You can grow some great coffee in there.
Right. Yes. If I've learned anything so far, it's that we all have different things we're willing to pay for certain outcomes. I guess I'll just have to decide for myself. Thank you for this. Thank you for trying. And Nim's gonna slip his hand into his.
You see
And
some color rise in his cheeks. You see some color rise in his cheeks.
Let's go.
You should steer the ship.
What?
Yeah.
Oh.
Why not?
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Who's steering it now?
It kind of just goes with the flow until I make it go somewhere else.
Oh, wait. The entire ship is going down.
Yes. Don't worry, the people on board most likely won't notice. Unless they're on deck, then things might get a bit awkward.
Okay. All right. Well, this is your expertise, so just let me know what to do.
Okay. Well, let me lead you over. He cautiously kind of walks through the lounge portion of the ship, of the barge, kind of proudly showing you off to everyone. This is my son, Nim. And you see people be like, oh, I didn't know you had a son. Mm-hmm. Takes after me, you know. The looks, I mean. The personality, maybe, as well. Yes, this is my son. And he just like introduces you to everyone that you pass as he awkwardly shuffles.
Hi. Yeah. Hi.
You notice his hand is like slightly sweaty as it holds yours. He leads you to one sort of door at the back of the lounge. He pushes it open and you enter like this sort of claustrophobic steel hallway. It only goes for a short distance before ending. And then after it ends, it abruptly kind of is in a fully enclosed chamber with a glass sort of floor that looks out onto the riverbed, on the river floor. Yeah, as you step onto it, you feel the whole room kind of reverberate with your footsteps. And in front of you, you see made out of brass and bronze, a giant sort of control panel with tons of levers. Some of them give out like a light hissing of steam periodically, and a large ship's wheel in the middle.
Oh, wow. This is cool. Did Mom ever see this?
Oh, yes, she made it.
What? Mom made this?
Yeah, she was an inventor of sorts. Mm-hmm. Some of her inventions were more catastrophic than others, but yes.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, Varaya. Yeah. There are some people that really respect some of her knowledge and stuff like that, so.
What was Nim sort of like casually puts his hands on the wheel on this like yes, wheel? Wait.
Yeah, it's like a ship's wheel. I think there's like a proper name for it, but
sure. And oh, what was she like when you met her?
She loved to sing. She loved flowers. And she hated the open sky. She had this fear of open spaces.
Oh, it's everywhere. How did she manage?
She lived underground.
What?
Mm-hmm.
What, in like a burrow or what?
Well, there's a whole world beneath our feet, Nim. You didn't know?
No.
Cities, towns, rivers.
I feel bad. I feel like I've never asked her any of this. Anyway, where to?
Well, right. We were gonna go assist. Yes.
Assist?
Oh, well, we're gonna tend to the grave.
Oh, yes. I've never felt more prepared for something like that.
Yeah, it's the tomb of Variah, and that was your grandmother. She got along quite well with your mom, and that's actually how we met.
Oh,
You know that weird interaction that happens was like, I have a son about your age. Well,
oh, she set you up.
turns out every once in a millennia that actually works. So
Oh, that's cute. I like stories like that.
she's changed a lot now.
Who?
Your mom. Although I still feel like she has a fear of going out into the open.
Yeah, I can definitely see that. Yeah, you know, but she still loves flowers and singing, and
She's
I
still
don't
into
know,
geology.
into geology.
Mm-hmm.
I I don't know. How is there so much I don't know about my mum?
Well, I've found that we tend to look at our parents as parents and not people.
Yeah, I wonder what she's doing right now.
Do you want to find out?
Oh, right. Wait, how? How?
You can just take a peek.
Do you do that? Do you do that?
Never to your
Don't.
mother, but to you, once in a while, sure.
Oh,
It's been a while. Someone told me it was creepy.
it's a little creepy, but I have to admit I'm intrigued and kind of want to check on Mum. If I tell her afterwards, it would be all right, right? Oh, I don't know. Just a little peek. Is it
Mm.
okay?
I can look through portraits of the dead. Through their eyes. So if you were growing up and ever felt like any painting's eyes followed you, might have been me. But like I said, I stopped doing it a while ago.
So, have you been looking through? Is it grandmother's painting? Because I've always felt something was.
Occasionally.
I think she had a tail pinned on her recently at a birthday party, but I fixed it, so it should still be intact.
That woman was always a piece of work. I don't think most people like their mothers-in-law, though.
No, I liked her from when I knew her, but I guess she was probably nicer to me. Did she not like you?
We didn't see eye to eye on some things. We avoided politics at holiday dinners. I'll just say that.
Oh. So how do we look? Can I look?
Oh, I can teach you. Yeah. He pulls like a looking glass from his pocket. It's not like the kind that has a handle, but more so a compact, I guess is the better word for it. He flips it open and hands it to you. Says you have to focus.
Okay.
Make an Arcana check.
Okay. First roll, spy my mom.
Mm-hmm.
15.
You're able to do it. You see out into your living room. Oh, you're probably wondering if you see her. You see her, you see the door open. It's nighttime. You see the starlight outside. You see that her face is covered in flour, and she's holding a couple of baskets of what looks to be like practice loaves. Some of them are not perfect. And you see her bring them in and put them down by the couch, and then you see her go out and grab like what looks to be a rolled up banner and put it down. And then you see her go out again and bring in like 2 or 3 other things. What looks to be the covering to what is a cart. She throws it all in the wash basin to wash for later. And you see her just like sit in a chair and look tired for a moment.
Oh, gosh, she's working so much. It's so late already. Oh. I think maybe the neighbors or someone would help, but...
You notice him peering over your shoulder. Well, she always was an independent spirit.
Yeah. But still, I'm glad to see she's baking. Anyway, that's probably enough. Thank you. I'll hand back the compact.
He takes it and puts it in his pocket.
Your mum's been wanting to open a bakery.
I think she has the chops to do it.
Oh, definitely. It's her baking is so good. Everything she makes is good. Yeah, I think. Well,
whatever happened to the florist shop?
Oh, I think that...
Did she sell it?
Yes. Yes, I think it was just too much when she was on her own, and after Marigold was gone, and I think it was just too hard.
I can understand that. Yes, I know that all too well.
I was hoping that I would maybe send her back money as I was out and about to help her, but I'm wondering if I was just trying to kind of justify leaving her on her own. Anyway, should we go to the grave then?
Yes, of course. So let's see. We have to find a spot in the weave that's a little thin.
Okay. Tim sort of like looks.
You can use those tools to measure it. Give me.
Can he make heads or tails?
Give me a investigation check.
Okay. Ooh, 21.
You feel like there are some of the tools you can tell have been twisted a certain way, and you're able to like see the wear on the metal and kind of discern how it's used. Nim pulls down a knob and then twists it, and sure enough, like steam kind of starts billowing out of it as this happens. It lets out like a whistle sound. And then below you see arcane runes appear on the glass. And sure enough, you do see like an area where there's like a bright dot of like kind of this iridescence that has formed on the glass below you.
Oh, what now?
So then go ahead and take the wheel and just go ahead and spin it to align us. And then he moves forward and he's like, you just pull this plunger here to start descending. You hear like a kind of like a foghorn go off. As it goes off, you hear voices above kind of say like, clear the main deck. But in the bar behind you, you don't hear any change in kind of the rancor. And sure enough, the boat begins to sink as these kind of like these like bladders on either side of it empty, and you see them because you're like below the water line. And as these like black velvety bladders empty of air, the barge sinks and sinks and sinks. He's like, "Oh, steady now, Nim," and he puts like a hand on the wheel to help you. He kind of like stands behind you.
Oh, okay.
It's gonna be a little tough here. Gonna need to put some elbow grease into it. Give me a strength saving throw.
Great. 9.
The ship begins to descend towards what is now like an arcane whirlpool and backwards. Oh, Nim! We've turned it around. You've gotta get a control of the. You want the prow to go in first. If we get sucked in backwards, it'll be rather unpleasant. The front of the ship,
Okay.
Nim. Come. And you notice now he's not very great with children. What are you doing? No, turn it to the other left, Nim.
I've never done this. I've literally never done this.
Just push it.
Okay. Well,
he puts his hands on yours and then pushes it. As he does, the ship kind of goes into this like whirlpool sideways. You feel like a sickening feeling, almost like an elevator descending as you descend through this strange arcane whirlpool. But your knowledge of your father's portals is that he's quite adept at spotting places where one can take a butter knife to the weave and step through it. And just like that, plop, you land sort of in the air. You can see the river above you. It forms like sort of the firmament here. And you begin to fall. You begin to plummet.
Oh! I'm just going to grab onto him. What's happening?
And then with a soft, like, doosh, the air bladders refill. And you land with a goosh on the side of the ship. Oh, Nim, this parking job is terrible.
Why would I know how to park a barge in, where are we, hell?
I really detest that word.
Well, where are we?
The hellscape.
Yeah, that's much better. Yes.
I just don't like that name. It's a hailstorm is what we call it. Hell is such crude vernacular.
Okay.
Hailstorm.
Well, I've never been to the Hellstrom before, so I wouldn't have known how to park a magically...
I do suppose you are a child, yes?
A teen now. I'm a teenager. I'm 13.
Is that old for...
I don't know.
Mortals or...
Okay. No, it's not that old.
Oh, so that's pretty young then.
Yes.
Some goblins are fully grown by that age. It just kind of depends.
How old are you?
I guess 600 this fall.
So many years.
Oh, not that much. I really am a young man myself.
You don't have any other kids?
No. Brendy was the first woman I ever fell in love with. I was willing to give all this up for her,
Well, she's worth it, so I understand.
That's what happens when you live among mortals, Nim. You become mortal.
No.
I mean, if you were to live down here with me, you would live to be 600 too, I think.
Really?
You'd probably change a bit, especially because he like kind of pokes the side of your face. I believe you're in a puberty stage.
Ow. Yeah,
Right
I
now,
guess.
you're leaning more towards your mother, but you're still somewhere in the middle. It's still malleable. He touches your horns.
Oh, well, it's interesting. I didn't know that. Yeah. I have a friend she's 10 and she's immortal. She lives with humans.
You have friends? Tell me about
Yeah,
them.
well, you met some of them. Right?
Oh,
Well, you met
right. I thought those were more of your
Ajax.
parental figures. They're around, but they cramp your style.
No, they're incredible.
Oh,
Ajax is my best friend. Well, now I feel like I've got a lot of best friends because Lulu too, who you met. That's who I'm talking about. But she didn't say much around you. I don't know why.
is
She
she
definitely
immortal?
said stuff after. Yes. Oh, she can't die, is what I've gathered.
Hmm.
So yes.
Well, she was rather cute.
I think so too.
But she was very quiet, and I prefer quiet children, so that might be the.
Yeah, it was very strange. Um, so what now? What does it look like looking out?
Yeah, when you look out through one of the portholes, you see around you sand dunes with broken cities kind of crumbling away amidst them. The sand itself is almost a lavender color. Above you, you see the river flowing in a line across the sky. The air here is thin, kind of leaving you almost a little bit short of breath, but it smells like dying roses.
Uh, so is it all just ruins, or
Oh, and this part,
what part is that?
well, people come here to mourn.
Oh,
It's a graveyard.
right.
There are things
For
that likes to sort of feed on stone and marble and despair, and those things come here, and I just have to make sure my mom's grave is taken care of.
oh yes. So more than just uh creatures, people, more than just people's remains rest here, it seems like.
Oh, whole cities rest here, Nim. Hmm. Sometimes
Does
whole civilizations die.
does someone bring them here? Do they just appear here, or is that someone's job too?
I assume it's someone's job, yeah.
So
Not mine.
strange. Are there gods down here as well?
I think you call them by different names.
Like, who's in charge? Who gives these jobs? I feel like everyone's just working for someone else.
Well, it's less work and more a purpose. Why does a farmer farm? Because his dad did, and his grandfather did. And occasionally you get one that wants to do something else, but the apple seldom falls far from the tree.
Huh. Yeah, well, let's go protect this grave.
I hear you have a proclivity for graves.
Yes, I like tending to them. I like many of the dead go forgotten, but not all of them, of course. But I feel like people are scared to visit graves mm, too often. Some people take good care, and others need people like me and Leander, I suppose, to care for them too.
Hmm. Well, we should get you in something a little bit more appropriate.
Oh,
Yeah.
What, like what?
Well, we gotta do something with your horns and maybe something a bit more formal.
Oh, yes, yes.
Oh, well, follow me. Let's go to my closet and find something that'll fit your style.
Okay. He first runs, then like, yeah, yeah. Let's go.
He takes you over to his vanity and kind of like cleans your face and says, "All right, well, pick a polish." And, like pulls out a tray from one of the drawers.
Is there a black glittering one?
Oh yes, definitely. He's very
Okay.
goth.
Yeah, I want a black glitter
Mm-hmm.
polish. This one.
He takes it and then takes like a large kind of almost like a sea sponge from one of his drawers, daubs it with the lacquer, and then just kind of polishes your horns almost like with the way one would polish shoes. The lacquer kind of gets deposited behind, and your horns are not only shiny, but now painted the way humans might paint their nails.
Oh, look at the sparkle. Oh, oh, I like that. I've never liked my horns before.
Well, that's not true. Look at this cute little um I don't know what that is. Your little drawing.
Oh, there's a tattoo.
Oh, a tattoo.
That's what they call.
Oh.
Um,
How does
someone
one
did
do
it.
that?
How does one do it?
Yes.
With well, it was kind of chiseled in for this one, but you put ink in as well. You know, Ajax and Valine, they both have tattoos on their arms. Actually, I think Sahiba gave them that one. But Ajax also has a matching one to mine on his tusk. Yes.
Oh yeah, I think I do recall that.
But I don't. Am I remembering right? Rena gave it to us, right?
Yeah, she did like one of
Okay,
those like
okay.
little poke and stick kinds. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. This incredible woman um, did it for us up at Marblehead. Rena.
Marblehead. Never much cared for that city.
Why?
They do this with what? With little
It,
uh
like a needle. Well, like a stick,
a
like a sharp,
stick?
like a sharp, thick needle.
And they just poke you with it? How barbaric. That's
Well,
interesting.
it's many people do. It's an art form.
You could just do it with magic. Snap your fingers.
It's not everyone can snap their fingers and have what they want.
Fair. I don't quite like your attitude, Nymeria. It's very.
You gave me attitude first.
Hmm.
You were judging me. How I live. Look, I live like a mortal, and it's not so bad not having everything available. Although it all of this is very cool too.
I mean, I did work hard for it. Sort of.
Did you?
I mean, I worked hard at amassing my wealth and knowing how to manage it. You know, that's a skill. There's labor that isn't just manual labor, you know.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Mental labor is a thing as well.
Definitely. Yeah.
Let's get you some new clothes.
Yes.
Yes. What type of things do you like?
Do you have anything like like sheer? Do you have anything sheer?
Yes. Yeah, I think we could do something. Let's get a Got this little. You see him like kind of go into his closet, and it like as he walks in, it like stretches into space. It's very like it almost becomes elongated like a mouth. And as you step in behind him, you notice like the pink carpet kind of shudders a little. And he taps the side of the mouth and he says, "No." And you see like almost like a tongue. It kind of like kind of pants for a second and then sits flat. Behave. Sit.
Okay. And I like.
Oh, you'll be
like,
fine, Nim, as long as you're with me.
Okay. He like sort of screws like right in step with Forlorn. Also, I like the brocade pants you wear. Like some nice and like maybe like a sheer black kind of top.
You see him like very rapidly snap things off the shelves, and then he like holds it in front of him and then shakes it once and it becomes like smaller.
Oh my god.
And he hands you a pair of like almost satin black pants that have like red pinstripe that are a very shiny fabric, almost sheer fabric, and then a matching blood red top with its kind of like a pussy bow top that's also sheer, and then a small blazer to go over it that is black as well.
Oh yes. I like this. And accessories or
Yes, what were we looking for? Hats are hardly appropriate.
no. Maybe some rings or like long necklaces or
Well, I think we have some things that are tasteful. He pulls out like a long armored ring that ends in a claw that goes over one finger. This also helps with playing your instruments.
Oh yes.
Kind of got a built-in pick there.
And
then
during this also
large cuff bracelet, like a big bangle to go on the other hand.
Awesome. And Nim takes the little handkerchief that his dad that Forlorn gave him and sort of like folds it and puts it in the pocket of the blazer. All right.
Aren't you a little chip off the old block?
Do I look good?
You look amazing.
Okay.
Make a wisdom check.
Oh God. 19.
You feel different.
Uh-oh.
You feel like the longer you've been on the barge and the longer you've been around him, you feel different. You feel more in touch with that infernal side that renders you resistant to fire and allows you to allows you to cast Hellish Rebuke. You just feel different.
I don't know if it's just the clothes, but I feel strong in this. It's a good outfit.
It's a power suit.
Yeah. All right. Let's do this. Let's go see my grandmother.
I'll deal with the barge later. I'm sure I'll be able to flip it upright.
Oh, are they in danger if we leave?
No, they're fine.
Okay.
It'll be getting this thing out of here in one piece. That'll be a bit weird. You see him like open a window in his bedroom and like kind of climb out. As he does, you notice that the air bladders below the waterline on one side of the barge have inflated to kind of compensate and kind of somewhat hold it upright. They've inflated more than the ones on the other side.
Yeah, I'll just Yep, right behind you. Yeah, no, definitely don't need help doing this.
Make an athletics check.
16.
Yeah. You're able to climb out. It's at a bit of an angle. Like I said,
Yeah,
it's not exactly on its side, so it's more like
sure.
here, but you're able to climb out.
And
You're
he
sweating.
like poses like on the ship in his outfit, kind of looks around like, wow, this place is unreal.
I suppose. It's
So are we on sand? Like, are we
yeah. hmm
just okay?
You see like these ruined towers around you. They have beautiful painted domes that are like cracked and kind of fallen on the ground. Some of them remind you of Scorpio's Mind Palace.
Mm. Interesting.
Give me a perception check
Yeah.
or a history check.
Okay. Only a 13 on perception.
Some of the other architecture seems vaguely familiar to you too, but you can't quite place it.
Hmm. Well, shall we?
Yes, of course.
We'll hop down into the sands.
He walks with you through the ruins of a city, half of it covered with this lavender sand. The air that beats against your face is kind of stuffy, but not oppressively warm. Kind of just like having all the windows closed in your house for a little too long. He leads you over one of the taller sand dunes, and you kind of go sliding down the other side. And sure enough, you see like a sort of circular, depressed region in front of you with a few standing pillars and what looks to be fallen statues, like those of knights bearing shields and swords and things like that, cracked columns. Only a few are upright at this point. You see a lot of beautiful, intricate stonework, and it occurs to you that there are multiple gravestones here. And it reminds you a bit of the graveyard that Leander kind
Mm.
of took or attended to. This
Yeah.
is what you
Oh.
see.
Does no one else tend to these?
And look how great this is right
Yeah.
here. Hey,
Yeah.
hey.
Oh my gosh. Look at the pinstripes and the little line. Oh my god.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
pretty.
so good. You did such a good job,
Thank
Jasmine.
you.
uh yeah, does no one care for these?
Well, I do.
All of them?
Oh no, just that one. And he points out one marble sarcophagus that sits pristine in the middle.
Oh. Yeah, and as he's walking slowly towards it, I guess I mean, what about the others? No one cares for the remains that are down here?
There might not be anyone left to care.
Oh, why? And he's gonna run his hand like on the tombstone, sort of like see if there's any inscriptions or
Mm-hmm.
information.
Yeah, give me an investigation check.
24.
You do feel an inscription along the side of the tome, on the smooth marble. It's been chiseled in very adeptly. As your fingers kind of move across it, you are able to piece together the words Viraya. May your lava engulf the world.
Oh. May your lava engulf the what? What what did Faria, my grandmother, do again? What was her role?
Uh, she tended the Star Forge before Sahiba.
What?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's how Sahiba and I know each other.
Oh, oh, how wait, oh, it's ironic. I guess I've been calling Sahiba grandma. I was just wow.
That being said, they're not very alike. They have some similarities in duty, but less so in how they go about it.
Oh, wow. Well, that's cool.
Let's just say
Did
your grandmother was a very big fan of a fresh start.
uh I see. Oh, how long was she? How, actually, yeah, how long did she tend to the forges, and how long did she live?
Honestly, I'm not quite sure.
Oh,
Probably thousands of years.
wow. Do you know how she went?
Mm, yes. Struck through the heart by a very bitchy goddess, honestly.
Uh, Just like that? Just like
Oh,
an
don't worry.
arg,
She gave as good as she got.
and they were just fighting to for what? What?
There was some dispute over whether or not certain pockets of humanity were redeemable.
Oh, well, that's a pretty big dispute. Wow. Who who was what did what did she believe?
She believed that nothing showed the true metal of a person's soul more so than a good calamity from time to time.
Oh, that's tough. Okay. And who was it that disagreed with her then?
Mm, let's roll to see if how much he paid attention.
Yeah, right.
I never really much cared for that type of thing. Like I said, I never even really wanted to go into this whole line of work.
uh, yeah, it's strange. It seems like there are gods above and around us just playing their own games with us at the butt of it. Um,
Well, yeah,
it's
they're assholes, Nim. They're just like people, fickle, bored.
well, some of them must be good, like Rena, who I told you did the fire, she she worships the Sultan, I think, and she's incredible. I can only imagine he must be too, or they must be, or and even blessed me, and I had so much strength, and I want to race to the hill, top of the hill. Um, anyway, and then in the pool, and he holds up and where his ring is. Relva gave me a gift,
You see
and
his
she did,
eyes kind of narrow when he sees the ring.
and she even saved me when I made a huge mistake. She showed me so much mercy and grace, and it helped a lot. I can't believe that they're all assholes, like you say.
Well, a good chunk of them are, just in the same way people are.
Right. They've just got a lot more power, I
If
guess.
they're so great and so powerful, tell me this. Why don't they just solve all the problems that people deal with?
I don't know. I guess I'm sure they must have tried at some point, no?
I mean, instead, you spend your entire existence as wondering if they're even real. And the second you lose faith, the first thing they do is smite you for doubting them. I mean, clearly they're not that great. They're so hoity-toity.
I guess so. I guess they're all trying their best. Like you say, they're like people, so there's some good, some bad. I'm sure the good want to try that.
And then
They
there's
must have.
us, right? Like we're the custodians of everything. This is the first time you notice he seems like kind of annoyed.
Yeah.
His shoes are like kind of clacking against the rough stone of the ground you're on, half covered with sand as he kind of paces back and forth. And he's like, we're like the goddamn janitors. Literally, the goddamn janitors. You know, who takes care of the sinners? Who takes care of the assholes, the drunks, the gamblers? There's a man on my barge right now that gambled away his family's fortune and then left. You know, who takes care of them?
Oh, I don't know. So, do we have our own fortune in our hands, or do we not?
Honestly, Nim, I don't even know. But I'm willing to admit it, and I'll tell you this. Most gods won't. I don't think they know what they're doing either, but they got this moral superiority.
Yeah.
I hear it from Sahiba all the time, too. Oh, you left your son behind. You don't know me. It wasn't an easy decision. And what makes her so perfect anyway? I'm sure she's done things in her life, too. I'm sure you have.
Yeah, everyone has. But I think it's what we do moving forward that really counts. Everyone makes mistakes.
Exactly.
I found you on accident. I would have liked for that to have been sooner, but we're here now, so it's better than nothing.
I just always assumed that me being in your mom's life would make things difficult for her.
Oh.
And I never wanted to show her up. You know, imagine me showing up in a barge while she lives in a cute little cottage in Solace Point. You know, it would have felt like it was undermining all of her efforts and everything she did.
I like our home. I like everything there. I mean, yeah, sure, this is all really cool, but it's cool because it's new.
I guess there's a part of me that was self-absorbed enough to think that if you met me and you had to pick, you'd choose me.
Is that what you're expecting now?
No. But that's why I stayed out of the picture. She's got a head start now.
I see. Well, I think that perhaps that is why our world is in the state that it's in. Perhaps these gods are making assumptions as well and not getting together and maybe talking about it. I don't know. It's also it's very large. I don't know how to feel about it. I looked into the eyes of a buffalo, a three-eyed buffalo, and I can't explain what I saw. And it's all just been a bit much. It's all a bit much.
The world is a big, scary place.
Yeah. It just seems like it can be simpler for some, or you can at least try and simplify things for yourself a little bit. I don't know how good I am at having it all before me all at once like this. Maybe it's just supposed to be a little slower. Maybe it's just a little soon. How do we, may I? And he sort of like gestures to the tomb to start like sort of brushing it off. And
you see Forlorn kind of like reach for a roll that he's carrying kind of like on his belt. And he unrolls it and you see like small pots of strange tinctures and like cloths to wipe the marble clean, as well as little brass incense holders and nice big sticks of incense to put at the, head and the foot of. There's like one fly in my office that's driving me crazy. To put at the
you're
head
with the dead now.
To put at the head and the foot of the tomb.
Okay, so Nim just sort of grabs a few things and starts tending to the tomb.
You see him grab like a piece of soft cotton fabric, dip it into one of the strange liquids and start like kind of polishing the top of this like sarcophagus, I guess.
Yes. I thought you and I would be more different when we met. Now we're both here cleaning a grave, and it's like being home for a moment. I'm very used to this. It's comforting in a way.
It is. It's quiet here. Too quiet, some would say. You notice the air is like very still except for the occasional distant cawing of a crow.
Yeah, you said that there are things that feed on the stuff here. What kind of things?
Kind of depends. The ground here holds whispers, of the past. Which is part of what we're going to do today.
Is this where wells lead? Do wells?
Oh, yeah, sometimes. Depends on the well.
Is Marigold here?
You see him like kind of, his body like kind of freeze a little bit when you bring this up. Like he goes a little rigid and he says, no, Marigold's not here.
Okay, good. I've heard her whisper to me before and got worried for a second.
Oh, there's nothing to be worried about. Roll an insight check.
Okay. Wow, that was a roller coaster. It landed on a 1, though. It's a 7 total.
Yeah, he just seems sad.
Yeah. Do you have money?
Do you have need of it?
Well, I've just been thinking is all, and it was kind of like kicking the sand a bit. If you wanted to help Mom, maybe she needs some startup money and stuff, and I haven't been able to get as much as I really wanted to help her with. And I don't want to be like everyone else in her life. Everyone seems to have left her, and I was always so upset at everyone for doing that. And now I'm here. done the same thing to her. I don't know that that feels right. I love everything that I've been doing. It's been a great experience. And I feel like I've finally allowed myself to be myself a little more and escape some guilt or a shadow looming over me. And it doesn't seem fair that Mum would be the one who doesn't get to experience that. Why should you be able to see it and spend time with me? I mean, not that you shouldn't. It's not fair that she shouldn't have some help too. She more than deserves it. I just don't even know anything about her. I realize.
I can see your point.
I
mean, but you also have to think about your own future. Do you have any plans for you're going to be a baker?
Well, I could help her. I could help it so that she's not alone. I mean, I'm still a kid. I've basically got old enough to be able to do things, and she doesn't get to. I am who I am because of her, and I owe her some of that time before I go off. Before she thinks I might, go adventuring, and I could have died multiple times already. I just and and I've been writing. I love writing. I think that maybe I love writing about the stories more than being in them. And I do have a friend up in Marblehead, um, uh, Katerina Drakarin, the same, Rena, yeah.
Somebody has a crush.
It's not, she's an angel, Dad, so it's hard not to. And I don't know, I think I just always enjoyed speaking with her, and I I don't know, I think I might maybe see if I can study up there, and that way I can work towards something. I can and not leave Mum all alone. And if I need to, I can go here and there for jobs for, if Sister Saranda needs something, and I can still help Mum. And I know I'll see those three again, my three dads. Now, I have so many dads, you don't even understand. I'm very lucky. I have dads everywhere, and they've distracted me from my mum. It's not fair. She deserves better.
I think that the lack of a father made you seek that more than the mother who was there. I don't know. I'm bad at these things. So what? You're going to study in Marblehead, and it's not a bad idea. He kind of like sits on one of the rocks right here.
Yeah, I was thinking about. I mean, like I said, I don't know much about Relva, but something rings true. When I spoke to her, she answered. That's not always the case. I feel like there might be something there.
Don't tell me you're going to become a paladin or something.
Well, I don't know. Look, if misfortune is in the family, the least I could do is try and balance the scales a little with some fortune. What? Don't make that face.
Such a.
Well, maybe not a paladin. I don't know. Maybe a cleric or something. I don't. No, I think that's what they do up there. I just want to learn first. I'll go from there. And
If you become a cleric, maybe you can work on helping people stay out of the ground instead of helping them after they're in it.
yeah, I think I would like that very much, actually. Oh,
I feel like I've seen you grow up before my very eyes just in the past 10 minutes.
yeah. Well, a lot has happened. Like I said, it's all a lot, and I feel like I just need. I still have more to learn, and I want to show Mum everything. I've written to her every week, and I love her, and yeah, I think it's just a little too soon. I didn't know how to tell the others, so and I wasn't sure yet, so I just came here, and I don't know. Wanted to see what
So,
life could be like on a different path too.
we're not going to Wicker Fen then.
No. Um no, I don't think so. But I will could I ask you to drop something off with them?
I can do that.
And I'll take out the journal that you can write in that his mother has the other side to. Um Maybe I can find out a way once I'm there. There's many magic users, as you know, in Marblehead, to make this two-way. But for now, it just tell them that I'll never be far. They know exactly where to find me, and they can always reach out and leave me a message through here. I'll be paying attention to everything they're doing too. I'd love to know more. I'm sure I'll see them again soon.
He takes the book from you and it vanishes inside his trench coat as he stows it away. And he says, kind of stands up and puts a hand on both of your shoulders and says, I'm proud of you.
Really? I'm going to Marblehead and.
But you're doing what you want, which is more like me than you know.
Okay. Yeah.
If you were to follow in my footsteps, in some ways that would be a bit disappointing. And if you were to follow in your mom's, I bet she'd agree. So even though I don't really get it, at least you chose it for yourself.
Yeah.
Leave it to a Grimwillow to subvert expectations.
Well, I'm excited, and next time the guys need me, maybe I can be of more support for them. I always felt like I don't know, just they're on their own adventure, and I think I have some training to do, and then I don't know, it's like a racer. Maybe next time they see me, I'll be running rings around them with angelic grace of, I don't know, I think that's what happens at Marblehead. I really don't know what happens up there, but everyone's incredible. Very radiant.
Asimar.
Yeah, Sister Saranda's really cool.
Well, I want to support you. So I'll give you the startup capital to fund your mother's bakery.
Thank you. Thank you.
But you'll have to do a little bit of a job because anything taken freely from the Lord of Misfortune usually carries misfortune with it.
Oh, yes. No, I don't want that.
Thus the trade with the handkerchief and things like that. There's gotta be a give and take.
What can I give?
Well, this place is sacred. I can sometimes even commune with the spirit of my mother here, and
Oh, wow.
sometimes other things. I'm sure she's tired of my musings, and you're a good writer. If I do the spell, maybe it would be good for her to talk to you instead. Maybe you could entertain her with a tale or two. Ease her rest.
Oh, okay. Yes. Yes. Ooh, okay. So nervous. uh,
All right, so you stand here.
okay.
He goes and positions himself on the other side of these two pillars. He sits like kind of cross-legged, hovering about a foot off the ground. And you see his horns kind of fan out. Like they go from being 2 ibex horns to being 6 and kind of form a crown on his head as he sort of meditates. As he does, you see the whites of his eyes kind of become visible, and you feel the ground around you thrum.
Oh,
You get the sense that the dead can hear you.
hello? Uh, I suppose this might be one way. Uh, hello, Variah. Grandmother, I've learned. I've always wondered if you were around, and I'm very grateful and lucky to get to meet you today in some small way. My father, Forlorn, has brought me here to speak with you and meet you and learn of your great tales of past and how long you worked the forges, and it's incredible. It's all so much to look up to. And I have, well, I'm just learning of our family, and hopefully I can make you proud as well. I've been doing my best. I've traveled, even though I'm only 13, many, many more years ahead, I think. I've been traveling with 3 wonderful companions who have taught me so much in strength and honesty and just openness. I've been inside people's minds. I've fought and defended a boreal bear's livelihood. I have met the most amazing of people, and I've written it all to tell tales and let those legends live. I've been lucky enough to write for, well, now I suppose I'm writing for 2 publications. One's a little more of a fun side thing, the myth chasers. Oh gosh, I've got so much to add already. And for Solace Point, for the Solace Point Tribunal, I've been writing the tales of my companions. That's how we all live on, right? And I would love to write your tale if, everyone says it's all right.
Make an
And you can
Arcana
see.
check.
Okay.
Or actually, performance in this case.
Performance, okay. Oh God. 11.
Yeah, as you start saying these things, the spell kind of gets put to work, and they become animated kind of around you. You see like not as impressive versions of the things you talk about kind of begin. You see a bugbear appear. You see a large snake.
Yes.
You see a baby dragon.
Oh.
You see a wraith, similar to the one from your very first adventure.
Yeah, as you see them all, they're I can't believe I've gotten to do so much.
Everyone dies.
Everything's falling over. But there's still so much to do at home too. I just realized I have a blood brother too, who awaits me back at Meadowford. Oh, that'll be exciting. He's the one with the baby dragon. You see, Tabitha. Oh, I've learned she's got a far scarier name, a scourge of some kind. But I'm sure that we can now be the best of friends. I can continue learning Draconic and, well, basically, it's a wild place up here still, or down here, or everywhere, I suppose.
As you focus on Tabitha, you kind of feel like the other memories kind of fall apart into mist. But Tabitha becomes more clear, becomes more like vivid. You can almost see her scales. You can almost see the sparks kind of streaking from her nose.
Wow.
And you suddenly feel a disturbance, like from outside the sort of like this like strange gloom like dome that has descended over you, and you hear your father's voice kind of on the outside, and it says, Nim, stay in there.
What's happening?
And you hear a fight break out. Roll for initiative.
Oh shit. Okay. Oh my god, rolling like shit. 5.
All right. So.
Cool.
Yeah. As you hold up, give me a second. Let me get my notes out here.
Now I'm fighting in hell.
Where is it? Okay. Is this what I was looking for? All right. As you like what is your roll for initiative?
5.
5. Okay. As you hear kind of a fight break out on the outside, you notice your creation becoming more and more and more realistic. And then you kind of see it almost like stop to be like it's no longer made of mist, but rather made of translucent flesh. Almost like ectoplasm, similar to that ghost you fought oh so long ago. And you see its nostrils flare. And then it happens. A streak of lightning comes cracking out. Make a dexterity saving throw.
Oh, shit. Okay. Oh, my God. Okay, I have to switch dice. 13.
You take 12 lightning damage.
Oh, my God.
As the lightning comes cracking through you, you feel everything in your body kind of jolt all of a sudden.
Ah! What?
As you call out, you hear your father's voice on the other side, like labored, as though he's doing battle with something.
Oh, shit. Is it my turn? Or?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. What? Tabitha? Tabitha? Are you even here? I don't... Oh, God. What are you? And can I do an insight or something
Yeah,
to kind of like try and piece
definitely.
together like
Yeah, you could
has the
roll
spell gone
insight
wrong or
or yeah, insight would be the one I think.
okay. Different die. Okay, 18.
You're very fond of Tabitha, and therefore you know kind of like how she moves and kind of the toddler-like look in her face. This sort of baby dragon is devoid of that toddler-like demeanor.
Okay.
And the eyes are glowing with like a green flame versus Tabitha's normal eyes.
Okay. Oh, you're not Tabitha. You're not Tabitha. You're some demon. No, ghost, wraith. And I'll use dissonant whispers on a wisdom saving throw. I'll do it second level, I guess. Yeah, I need to say it beforehand.
Oh, right. I have to make a wisdom saving throw.
Yes.
I forgot.
Sorry.
3.
Okay, yeah, it fails. Okay, so that's 10 psychic damage.
Perfect.
Oh, I forgot the other part of it. It must immediately use its reaction to move as far as its speed allows away from me.
Here. It moves away from you, shrieking. The sound it lets out is horrifying. It's less like Tabitha that the Tabitha that you're used to, and something else.
Can I can I still bonus action, or was like eyeing or the first part kind of like
No, you can can bonus action.
I'll bonus action do healing word on myself. I'm like, okay, get it together, Nim, get it together, Nim, and just give myself a little healing because that was a big hit.
Yeah.
And then that'll be my turn.
You see the dragon is gonna wheel around. It's gonna use its full movement to get up to you, which it can, I believe, because it's a flying creature. And then it's going to bite at you and claw at you.
No. Okay.
I rolled an 11, a 24, and a 13.
11, a 24, and a 13. Well, the 24 for sure. So just the 24.
Okay.
My AC is 15.
You take 6 piercing damage and then an additional
6 piercing.
2 lightning damage.
Okay.
As the claws rake across you, you notice they crackle with energy. Your sheer blouse kind of gives way as this thing just tries to rake across
not
you.
The clothes, no, hellish rebuke.
Perfect.
I just got these.
Dex save?
Yes, Dex save.
I got a 9.
That will fail. That's whoa. That's 18 damage.
Ooh, wow. Okay, yeah. You see this apparition begin to kind of unravel. Like one of its wings becomes utterly decimated and tattered from your attack, but somehow through strange means it remains aloft. Unnatural means it remains aloft. It's your turn.
Can I hold on? Let me read how long it normally takes. It does say it's one action. God damn it. Okay. I'll fix it after the fight.
You're mending yourself?
Yes.
Mid-fight? Yeah, in my head, that's why it missed. It grabbed the sheer fabric and it tore it, but the second claw is what hit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nim's like, oh God, I'd rather have you tear my skin.
After the fight. Okay. And I see through you. I see that you're almost gone. Be gone and done with. And do another dissonant whispers. I'll do first level for this one.
Got a 4?
That fails. All right, that's 7 psychic damage.
Okay.
And again, has to move as far as it can.
I think you get an op attack on that. If you have a melee weapon.
Really? And if it's forced to?
With Dissonant Whispers, I think it still provokes op attacks.
Ooh, well, if you say so,
I'm pretty
sure.
Yeah. There's other ones that don't, like Infestation, but I believe Dissonant Whispers specifically allows you to take an op attack.
Although that said, it would use my reaction, which...
it would use your reaction.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I'm going to hold on to it for a possible Hellish Rebuke. But I will bonus action again and be like, sort of like grab where the scratch did hit my skin and sort of say, no, not now, not now. Heal. And more healing. Another healing word, because holy shit.
How much health do you have?
I'm at 13 right now. I only have 27 total, so I've been going up, down, up, down, up.
It recharges its breath weapon on a d6.
Oh gosh. Okay. Well, I just healed 5, so now I'm at 18.
Perfect. I'm gonna roll to see. Okay, I rolled a 1, so it doesn't have its breath back yet.
Okay.
It's gonna use its flight to move back to you again, and this time it's going to try to bite and claw at you again.
Okay.
With a 14.
Nope.
A 13.
Nope. Uh-oh.
And a 20.
No! A nat 20?
Yes.
No! Okay. Let's go.
Luckily this is its attack that doesn't do the lightning damage. This is the claw attack, not the bite attack. So
okay. My clothes. Okay. My beautiful clothes.
15 points of damage.
Oh my god, if I hadn't healed myself from bonus.
Yeah.
It
completely, it just like latches onto your neck and starts to tear away at you as much as it can, like ripping your clothes and like ripping your flesh into ribbons.
No. And I want to like kind of like grab and do a Hellish Rebuke.
Definitely,
like, straight from me. So
it's gonna make a dex save.
Yeah.
Oh. I rolled an 11.
It fails. Okay. 2 1s. That's so upsetting. Okay, that's 8 fire damage.
As it gets engulfed in flames, you can feel in your hands that the illusion is starting to break. It's almost turning into mush. The wing you're holding onto begins to like dissolve as your fire like sears through it, and it's almost like you're holding onto snot. The form starts to break apart and it becomes somewhat globular, but it's still alive.
It's like holding Lulu's hands. Okay. Then dissonant whispers one more time. Okay. You're not real. You're not real. You're not real. God, it's disgusting. Wisdom saving throw.
14.
That matches it. Does that mean? Wait, who do we give it to?
Meets it, beats it.
Meets it, beats it. Okay. So I believe it's half damage though.
Yes. He won't move, but you will do half damage.
Yeah.
I'll call it now. If you get 8, it dies. Just to let you know. Just to add that little bit of masala.
Well, I got 13.
It falls apart into a puddle of goo in your hands, kind of dripping out between your fingers, landing on the floor, and then dissolving in a thin wisp of smoke.
Thank God, because me not paying attention used my last spell slot on that, and I'm sitting at 3 hit points. Ah!
As
Dad!
you shriek and call out for your father, you hear outside, you see it actually, arcs of lightning against this like semi-translucent dome that's kind of like around you and the tomb. Let's roll to see who wins. Do you like purple or red more? I'm rolling 2 die.
Oh, he's purple. He's got purple
Okay.
eyes. Do purple.
Purple. 19 to 17, he wins.
Oh my god, oh my god. Oh my god.
After some amount of time, you see a giant flash of almost like purple lightning strike. It's almost blinding. You just see it almost like you're looking through frosted glass. And then the dome, like almost like a bubble popping, like just unforms around you. And he's standing there. His breathing is labored. You notice he's chipped some of the lacquer on his horns. And his first concern is you.
I run to his arms. Like, oh,
Are you all right?
I sort of, not really. I was really hurt. What just happened?
You see him like look at the horizon like angrily. And he says, have a long-standing rivalry with someone. And they like to play dirty.
Oh, what? This is a rival? The rival wants you dead.
Don't worry. I told him that if he comes for my child again, then I won't let him get away next time. Are you okay, Nim? Let's get you some help.
My clothes as well.
He like puts his hands on your shoulders and like runs them down in one smooth motion and casts mending, and all your clothes are formed back together in one smooth motion.
I'm still bleeding on them, but this is, at least I look good.
You know, I know someone who can take care of that. She goes by Wendy, I think.
Oh my god, yes. I know, Wendy. That's where I got my second gig, the Myth Chasers.
Oh.
It's good storytelling. It's fun. Some of it might be true, you know? I think some of it is true.
Fair.
What? She is funny.
I'm just glad you're okay.
I think I'll be okay. I just don't know that I can deal with anything else happening, though. I don't know that. Unless you can heal me. Do you heal? Do you heal people?
It's not exactly my domain.
Just thought I'd check.
One of your talents, really. He puts like a small pouch of coins in your hand. I would say you've more than earned this.
Thank you. I think this will mean the world to Mum, too.
Tell her I still miss her devil cakes. And if she carries them at her bakery, I might come by.
Okay. I'll tell her that. Can you bring me to her? Or
yes, I think that should be doable. It's fairly simple.
Oh, and you know where to find me too now, you know. Well, I mean, you always did, but don't be a stranger, all right?
I'll try not to.
Okay, well, you could at least write a letter every now and then.
That's true. Never been one for the written word like you, but I guess I could try to find words.
Magic something. I'm sure you can do something. Please.
I'm sure my assistant could probably write pretty good letters. I think he used to be a poet of some kind.
You have an assistant? Who is your assistant?
Oh, the Bartholomew, the one with the. It's. I introduced you to a lot of people on the ship.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
He was
thank
a
you.
poet who, because of his lack of fame, ended up falling into a lot of misfortune.
Well, that would be the through line, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Well, I
But
hope.
you know, I'm glad we got to. Please don't tell your mother about this. She'll kill me.
Look, lots of bad things have happened. They couldn't all have been your fault.
Yes, but I did take you to the Hailstrom. I just thought you'd like it here.
You're right. It's very interesting. It could do with some more tidying, but I'm very
Oh, there's
grateful.
beautiful parts of it. There's the plains and
Oh,
a
well,
whole
you just have
ocean
to.
made of chaos.
What?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
It's beautiful.
well, maybe you
Looks like the
can
night
show
sky.
me some other time when we're not, nearly beaten to death. I really appreciated being able to speak to my grandmother. That was unexpected.
I bet she appreciated it too.
I hope so. I kind of rambled on, but I mean, how do you say you just discovered, your grandmother exists? And
Well, I mean, she's never gotten to meet any of her grandchildren either.
it's true. I felt bad. It was it was one-sided and all. Maybe someday, I've read some things. Maybe someday she can, answer back.
Maybe.
Got some really cool books from a doctor.
For what purpose?
Oh, speaking to the dead, maybe raising the dead.
You know, I tried that too with your sister.
You did?
Yes, I tried to see if I could figure out a way to snatch her from the jaws of death.
It didn't work.
No. Roll an insight check.
Okay. $24.
Ooh, very high. Much higher than him. You get the sense that he's not telling the truth here.
What are you not saying?
Well, the spell worked, but it didn't have the intended effect. Because she wasn't dead, per se.
What? What do you mean she wasn't what happened?
She's missing.
What? We don't have. Don't we have her body? Is she alive?
I'm not sure yet, Nim. I had my theories, but after you start talking about voices coming from a well, I started to wonder because this enemy of mine has a penchant for wells as well. And now I've begun to wonder if he's snatched her away just to piss me off.
Wait, did you did you tell Mom? Does Mom know?
When I couldn't find the body, I didn't. How do you explain that to someone, Nim?
I don't know, but
I mean, that she asked me to do it, right? I mean, you and her couldn't go about dragging a well, and so I did the unpleasant business, and she wasn't there.
What? Who was your rival? Who would do this? Do you think they would?
Well, despair and misfortune go hand in hand.
Despair. Oh, God, this is also dreadful.
And he's somewhat of a jealous ex, if I must be honest. But I never thought he would mess with you, and when I thought me leaving would prevent him from doing anything to you.
Jealous? Well, now I have to go back. Mom's just on her own.
I suppose you do. And I guess I have work to do as well.
Yes.
Because you've given me a piece of a puzzle I was missing.
Yes, please. I will study what I can, and maybe I can become strong enough to help too.
He hugs you tighter than he did before. And he says, I know I'm a shitty father, Nim, but I'm not going to let anything happen to you or your mother.
I believe you. Thank you. It's all so much.
It is for me, too. I feel foolish for not suspecting foul play earlier.
I'll have to tell Mum. I'll have to figure out how, because yes, like you said, it's not something easy to drop, and well, I don't know, maybe not right away. There's nothing we can do. It all seems like above our heads. A demon of misfortune, or a lord of misfortune, and a lord of despair playing with our lives.
It was never my intent to play with your life, Nim. Just to be a part of it.
I know.
He was close to me once. And I think my decision to live among mortals drove him a bit mad.
Oh. I see.
I didn't think he would ever stoop to something like that. That's why I couldn't tell your mother, because I just wasn't sure, you know? She was also so angry with me. I mean, the fact that she sent word for me, of all the people, tells you how much Marigold's passing tore away at her.
Yeah. She's been through a lot. But I have faith that there's something we can do, because as dreadful as it is, you've given me hope. Marigold might still be out there.
If she is, we'll find her.
Yes. Yes, we will.
And set her free.
See, it's not all misfortune. Well, it's kind of unfortunate, but
it is a little bit. I was going to say,
you know, I'm just trying to look for the good where I can. We'll find her. Find her. I'll get whatever help I can. I'll get stronger so that I can. Thank you.
Of course. He takes his nails and cuts like a door through reality. He lifts it open like a tent flap. And on the other side, you see your bedroom. Downstairs, you hear your mom doing dishes and getting ready for bed.
I miss that bed so much. I hope I see you again soon.
I'll come to visit.
Please be careful getting out of here. I'm sorry about the parking job.
I'm sure I can fix it somehow. I'll figure something out.
Okay. Bye. I'll give him a big hug and kiss him on the cheek, and happy to have met you. I'll go with a smile through the portal and into
He gives like your
his
horn
bedroom.
a little scratch as he ushers you. And as the flap closes behind you and disappears, you are in your bedroom. It looks just the way it did the day Ajax came to take you on your first adventure to the market.
Home again. But not for long, I'm sure. Just for a little bit. Mom!
You hear a plate drop and crash on the floor.
Oh.
And then you
whoops.
hear excited footsteps come running up the stairs.
I'm home, Mom.
Brendy immediately bursts into tears and scoops you up in that hug that only she can give you, the kind that only moms can give. She smells like fresh bread, and you feel the moisture on your cheek as her tears kind of flow down her face and onto yours.
I just wanted to come home. I think there's still more for me to do here with you. And pull the pouch of gold and look, this it's for your bakery.
She looks like she has questions, but is too happy to question you on any of them.
The little handkerchief is still sticking out of the blazer.
Yeah, you see her eyes kind of fall on the handkerchief, but mostly on your clothing in general, which is
true.
Very much like his clothing. Well, at least he got you home in one piece.
Yeah.
Because my heart is just in pieces when you're not here, kid.
Oh, Mom, I thought you wanted me to go. I thought you wanted your I mean, that's silly. I've learned so much, or not so much, but just I've heard about. I don't know. I want to know more about you, Mom. I want to be here with you and help you.
I want to know more about you too. I feel
Well,
like
we've
you've
got.
just done so much growing.
Yeah, I feel I have too, and I look forward to what's ahead. But we can find out together.
I'll go put the milk on.
Yes, I'll be right down.
You hear her stoke the fire, take out the copper pot to heat you up some milk and honey.
And I'm gonna change into the comfiest clothes ever. His pajamas he always gets into.
Your mom did make you a onesie that looks a lot like a cactus.
Of course, yes, yeah. That one.
It's like soft, fleecy fabric.
Oh, and run down onto the couch and sort of just watch my mom get warm things up and get things ready and just breathe a sigh of relief.
She comes and sits next to you. The smell of honey and lavender and warm milk kind of reaches your nostrils as she puts a cup in front of you. And she puts one arm around you, and you feel her kind of put her head against yours since you're so much shorter than her. And thus temporarily end the adventures of one Nim Grimwillow.
Mm. Oh.
Ah!
Oh.
Oh my gosh.
I loved it. Thank you.
Of course. Thank you.
Oh, I loved it so much. I did always feel bad for Nim's mom.
And now you get to help her open her bakery.
Yes, 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 and who knows what, Nim will get up to in Marblehead, and he's got many friends here in Meadowford between Leander, his mom, and Rena.
Yeah, tons of friends. You spent so many, like, even in the campaign, spent so much time here.
Yeah,
That
that's true, yeah.
it is like a home away from home, I think, for most everyone. So
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
thank you so much for
Thank
joining
you.
me on this. That was so amazing. It was such a fun little episode.
Yes, we went to hell.
It went to
Hell and
hell.
back again.
Yeah. And still managed to make it home in time before Mom went to bed.
Yeah, geez. Wow, barely escaped. Imagine if Nim just died.
That would have been like such a endeavor. What happens if you die in hell?
Oh, God.
Dun dun dun.
Or I was also, when you rolled for like dad like fighting, I was like, oh God, is he just about to? This is gonna be super traumatic.
I was afraid that you were gonna choose a memory I didn't have a mini of. Because I had prepared like 6 or 7, and I was like, what happens if she starts talking about a memory I don't have a mini of? What do I do then? Then I'm gonna be sitting here like, well.
Yep. It would have. It would have been.
It would have worked. I would have been
fine.
like, pretend that this snake is a wolf, or actually, I had a wolf, but a burning tree. And
Yeah. A burning tree.
pretend this is sunflower.
Oh man.
Oh my
No,
goodness.
it's great. The little Tabitha dragon. It's like, I'm gonna be friends with her, and then have this thing come to life.
Yes. Thank you so much. That is it, chat. Thus ends our chronicle for this evening. Next week, we are picking it up with Xander. We get to see what our Monklock gets up to on his journey southward to Wicker Fen. So join us next week for a very spooky, very eldritch episode of Lulu and Scorpio Part 2. With their mount, Senor Albert.
Oh God, is he there too?
Yeah, they're writing him.
Fantastic. What an entrance to arrive anywhere writing Senor Albert.
Fabulous. Josephine, where can people find you? What are you up to?
What am I up to? The best way to know what I'm up to is to follow at JCVIM on Twitter, Instagram. I also stream on Twitch. Earlier today I was playing piano, so I do on Tuesday mornings. And otherwise I'm playing video games. Yeah, that's about it. There's exciting stuff looming ahead that I can't talk about.
That's true, the NDA life.
So that's that. Oh, the series finale of LA by Night. The LA by Night Chronicles this Friday. So
dun dun dun.
Yeah, that's it, So say goodbye to those characters, and so it's in various ways. It's the end of our chronicle. So if don't miss that one. Also, because I don't want anyone to have spoilers. That might be, if you have, I know it's on late, but if there's one that you should catch and you don't want spoilers for, I feel like
the last one is the one.
Probably, yes. Yeah.
Fair enough. Yeah. Hi, hello. If you're here, you know how to find me. I'm that bronze girl. So excited to to like I guess like have a soft close to this chapter of Shikar, and I feel like we got out of like our epilogue. It's been so amazing seeing you all like play with these characters and do the things you do, and I'm just so excited for the future. So thank you so much. To reiterate, we will see. Over the next 3 weeks, we were gonna have 3 more one shots, starting with Xander, Gabe, and then lastly Balvin, and then we'll be going dark until the new year, where we'll be unveiling some new additions to the cast as well as new art and stuff like that. So I hope to see you there. This episode will be rebroadcasting at 9 a.m. this Sunday if you want to rewatch it. And then on Monday, the following day, it's going to be a week lag because, yeah, sorry, YouTube. It was a whole thing. I'm still working on it, still catching up. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. And thank you to Roll20 for funding this endeavor. We appreciate it. Good night, everybody.
Bye, everyone.